folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our manga for today is Jing, King of Bandits, Twilight Tales, Volume 1 by Tokyo Pop. Now, there is fighting, killing, a bit of violence, and shooting in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so the art and story and of course Jing is created by Yuichi Kumakaro. My apologies if I butchered that. Kumakaro. Yeah, I hope I said that correctly. Oh, and also I'll put in here. That was a list of editing, who translated it, who adapted it to English, all of that. Okay. Now, I first discovered Jing, or if that's how you say it correctly, the King of Bandits, when I was a kid. There was a channel here. There's a channel on TV, and I wish I remembered the channel's name now, but it had anime on it, a lot of different animes. And Jing was on there too, and I would watch it, and I really, really liked it. I didn't know about mangas at the time, and I didn't know what an anime was either, really. So yeah, I really loved it. I watched quite a few episodes. I didn't know what time it was on, so whenever I would catch it, I would watch it, and it was really cool. And it was it did have it had Hebrew dub, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I didn't know how to read in English at the time. So yes, that's was my first introduction to Jing. And now, like 2 years ago, I looked it up online and found out there was a manga, so I was excited about it. But it's the one that's really hard to fucking find. But somehow I managed to find the first volume on thrift books. And I was really happy about it. I hope in the future I can get the rest of it. So as it's an anime about, not anime, it's stories about, as it says in the title, a king of bandits by the name of Jing. Now in the anime, they I think made him a little bit older. I think here he's about a teenager, and at least it seems to me from what I remembered, from what I remember. I think they made him maybe about at least in his early 20s there. He just looks a little older, at least. Yes, almost like they made. Not that this one is that much comedic, but I mean the mangas, but still, yeah, I think he might be a little bit older there. So anyway, Ching is as it says, is a king of bandits. He has a friend who's a crow by the name of Kier. And so the story here starts to just go straight in. Jing is in, it starts with there's a funeral being held in some city that has a material called ores, or orzo, and it powers up the whole city. And there's like a phone that's made of this stuff, and Jing is in this town to steal it. And he interrupts the funeral. No one sees him. He leaves a laughing toy, while the priest, at least I assume priest, who has a rabbit's head, reads out everything, and then the toy starts to laugh. And Jing does that to steal. He steals something from the casket, the open casket. It was I think so. So what? Shit, what was it now? Completely forgot what he stole. I just read this. Yeah, I remember. He stole an egg. It was a fossiled egg of some bird. Oh yeah. So anyway, Jing is in this town to steal that computer. We also see a character, a young boy that has 3 eyes, one on his forehead and two in the regular place, looking down at the funeral. So on the way, Jing runs away from the mafia. Well, it starts with narration actually of how Jing stole Crime Street. So anyway, Jing is going in this town. He's going towards the castle. There's a castle there. A little boy lives there. Not so little, maybe about 10. And that's the kid that watched the funeral with the not telescope. What do you use? Not a spyglass, binoculars, special binoculars for people with 3 eyes. So along the way, as Jing is going to this castle and being attacked by the members of the mafia, that funeral was for their leader. Everyone's working on with this orzo, and they have like their heads are open and they have antennas. So I guess they're kind of have sort of what machines, maybe. So along the way, Jing meets a friend of his, I suppose, who's a unofficial postman. He's there to deliver a letter to the castle. So Jing joins him because again he continues to be attacked. The postman gives him a lift on his bike. He and Kier and the postman drive through into a tunnel where the antennas can't work, so there's no radio waves to the mafia men. Inside there are miners, the ones that mine. They are born in that dark mine and they die there, and they also have 3 eyes. So they don't go outside because the light would blind them. Not entirely. It's too strong for them. They meet them, but then the mafia people, they use cords to send with some of their members inside. But Jing cuts the cords and saves them. Then they continue on the way to the castle. As they get from the other side, oh, and there's also like a little girl there that it tells them that all the problems of the city are because of that little boy that lives up in the castle. That little boy lost his mother a few years ago, I would assume, and he's using that phone to try to reach her, even though she's dead. He wants to talk to her. He thinks he's all alone. And he does really seem to be all alone. Except his cat that's with him that also has 3 eyes. Interesting. So, along the way again, Jing and the postman are stopped. The mafia boss just wakes up from his grave, gets out of there, and says, "I can't die with all this commotion. Why can't you stop them?" I don't know how to explain that. And goes into a big robot suit and barges on Jing and the postman on their way, and on Kier. Okay, so he grabs the postman, throws him. Then Jing hops on his motorcycle and goes and tells him, "I'll finish your job for you." Oh, also Jing, with the help of Kier, he can use him as a gun. He like yells Kier. Kier attaches to his wrist, and then he yells Royal, and he shoots out like an energy beam. It's really cool, but I'm not sure how the fuck that even happens. The world of Jing seemed to be combined with like strange magic and all sorts of other things. Anyway, Jing, along the way, the 3-eyed girl helps him. She shoots at the robot. She's got special goggles for outside. Jing finally gets to the castle. He goes inside. The little boy hears a noise. He grabs something, a weapon, goes and says, "Who's there?" An intruder. Jing appears and says, "I got mail for you." And he throws him the letter. The little boy reads it. And then the mafia boss bursts in. Like the little boy's knocked back. He's about to fight him. Oh, the 3-eyed girl's there too. She gets knocked to the side as well. And Jing is fighting the mafia boss. He's like, "There's nowhere for you to run." Uh, Stuff from a top shelf is about to fall on the three-eyed girl, but the boy protects her. Jing runs out again, grabs the motorcycle and drives towards the mafia boss and the robot. And he says something. He says, I may be young, but I still got a lot to do." And he drives and knocks them both out of the building, and they're falling. Now Jing survives this. He's got like not a knife, but like a sword in his sleeve, and he manages to probably stick it somewhere and not fall to his doom. The girl is surprised that the boy protected her because he's so selfish being alone. He says, "Yeah, I thought I was all alone, but I was wrong." And in the end, they all go down back to the mines. So apparently, there's a girl there, another one, who's blind. And she's been hearing him talking to the phone because there's radios everywhere. And she invited him to her birthday. And, now he knows that he's not alone. And they're going to have cake. The older girl taught her how to write. And she said, "I wouldn't have if I knew she was writing letters to him." But that's it. Everyone's happy. Postman wheels out a cake. They're starting to eat, and then he's like, "Ah, where's Jing?" And then he notices that in his pocket, I think Jing gave him like, I don't know, maybe a payment for the bike because the bike was destroyed. And he says, I've never met a thief like Jing," he tells himself. And then Kier's like, "Well, Jing, were we after that phone? What did we get?" And Jing has this crystal that has the image of a woman inside of it, or maybe that is a real woman in there. I don't know. That's it. That's that story there. Jing was also trying somehow to find a way to communicate with his mother as well. That was also something in the anime I remember. Because there's one, the spoilers too, but there's one episode where he goes to a place where you could find eternal life, this island, and he meets the old man that has this eternal life, and he gives him a bottle of the water, I think, that would give you eternal life. But Jing spills it out. His Kier tells him, "Oh, Jing, if you're gonna drink some, leave some for me." But Jing just spills it out, and he says, "I want to meet my mother again someday." So yes. All right. Then the next story, Jing is in a city full of a Rust City. It's called. It's this interesting place. He's there to steal something too. He's there to steal or to take the brain of God. So there used to be this king who wanted to answer the ultimate question: does God exist? So he put a little baby boy locked up in a castle with nothing but scriptures of religion and everything. And when the young boy grew into a young man, when the baby grew into a young man, he asked him, "Does God exist?" And the man's like, "Yes, I am God." So after that, this man left and went to the city, and when his body broke down from old age, his brain was there. His brain stayed in the city, and that's Rust City. So if anything happens to the brain, things malfunction there. And the people there seem to be kind of like Frankenstein's a little, because they have sewn pieces on them of other things. Well, anyway, it seems that the royal or like this group of guards goes there to chase Jing around. Is still looking for him because in the beginning there's a little boy that cleans shoes, but because of all the announcements of catching Jing, he thinks he won't have any clients and is about to leave for the day. But then Jing arrives and puts his foot on the stool. The little boy cleans it for him, and then Jing throws him a coin and says, this is enough to keep you quiet. And then it goes to a week earlier. So Jing arrived there, told Kier about the story, So the man that's ahead of this group that's supposed to catch him, Jing leaves him a message in his personal journal, and he also so yes, he goes to a graveyard. He's cornered there by this man and his people, the men that chase him. One of them is about to jump on him, but then gets shot by one of their own. And some man's got a big bird's head attached to one arm. He's very interesting looking. And then, he yells at the others, "Don't just stand there and tremble, get him." And then Jing sneaks around the graves. There's also a young woman, and this man is the head of them all. It looks like a doctor, and he grabs this woman and he says, I need your help. Can I abduct you?" And she said, "What? Stealing's not enough for you?" There's these little creatures, kind of cute. They look a little bit like Trigglypuff, not Trigglypuff, Jigglypuff. Yeah, that little creature from Pokemon that sings and puts you to sleep immediately. Kind of a little like that, but different. Round body, like pointy ears, though. And he's, I don't know, he's sick. Earlier on, they were thrown at Jing as bombs. I remember those little creatures. They have to stay calm. Because if they don't stay calm, they fucking explode and you're dead. So I guess one of them Jing kept with him and he needs help. So this nurse says, "All right, I will help you. But after that, you have to leave because, my boss is going to come back." So they're in the boss's house. She's treating the little creature. And then he sees on the wall there's a framed picture of a X-ray. So they have modern medicine there too. And he asks, "Who is that?" And she says, "Oh, that's my mother." And that's it. That's where the first volume ends. Okay. So first, this cover I really like is it's quite cool. You see Jing there on the front, and like all sorts of scenes from the manga. I like Mr. Karu's art style. It's very nice. It's very interesting. You see, that's the mafia boss. There's Jing's hand as he leaves that thing. There are the mourners. A lot of these stories, they have like a feel of Alice in Wonderland a little bit. Even though Jing doesn't fall anywhere, but it's like this weird world with all this weird shit, which I really love. So there's Jing. There's Kier over there. And you see that's the postman. I must say, Mr. Kamukara sure draws long necks in some scenes. You see there's Kier holding this letter. It's like things that are not really explained. How did the little girl send the letter and how did that postman appear? You see there's the three-eyed cat. So I really love this art style. It's very interesting and very cool. And some great action scenes as well, as you can see. They have guns here. Let's see if I can find the attack that he does. Just a moment. Let's see if I could find it somewhere. Wait. There we go. So before that, he yelled Kier, and then he yells Royal. Kier's attached to his wrist, like I said. So yeah, really a great art style. Oh, and the first few pages here have color to them, which is quite cool. Yeah, that's one story. I didn't expect it to have two different stories already. So you see, there's that man that said that he was God. There's Rust City. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting world. I definitely hope to get more of this, more volumes. So you see, that's the nurse. She says the picture of my mother. Well, an X-ray of her mother to be to be precise. And there's that castle that the three-eyed boy lives in. All right, so that's the art. As you can see, really cool. Again, love the art style. So that was Jing, the King of Bandits. So fun stories to read. At least like you don't really even necessarily have to read the first one because it's just his adventures. It doesn't even really tell you, it doesn't begin with information about Jing, but maybe that's revealed along the way. I think there was also an anime episode where they showed Jing as a young boy, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is my kind of thing. I really love the stories with weird worlds and the characters of this kind. Jing is also very interesting. Yeah, he is a bandit and he steals, but he also seems to have a kind heart and actually help people as well along the way. Same thing in the anime. One of the reasons why I liked it so much. Jing was really interesting and not just a simple greedy bandit. But not even just a bandit. It looks like he does it more for the fun of it and the hell of it than for money, really. I get the feeling. Kira is also very fun. He's those like the maybe more comedic characters where he really loves women, of course, and he sees like the ladies, with the big boobs and shit, or really pretty ones, like oh, it's quite funny. It did have a bit of the humor here, but not really overwhelming like in some mangas. Yes, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I managed to get at least the first volume. And I hope to get more in the future. I do have somewhere another one. I don't remember what number it is. But I definitely want to read all of this. This is my kind of thing. Exactly. So that's it. That was Jing, King of Bandits. Yeah, let me know, folks, if you ever read the manga or watched the anime. And if so, what did you think? Would love to hear. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!